Hey guys, in your practice, think about it. Are you working on things that have nothing to do with what you're really trying to do? You're working on licks and phrases and you're not applying it to anything at all. So really, you're just doing it to do it. Well, what I want to talk about is the idea of directness. Before I do, I just want to remind you to check the links below in the description. You're going to find links to my music lessons page where you'll find lessons and courses as well as links to the gear that I use. Now, as far as this term directness, I came across this not for the first time, but as a reminder when I was reading the book Ultra Learning. So the book Ultra Learning points out the idea of directness. If you're learning something and it has no application, then it's really easy to forget. Now, I've definitely been guilty of going through licks and phrases and working on things for a period of time that really have nothing to do with anything. Now, I totally understand that there might be times when you're working on something where it is not necessarily going to be applicable to the situation, or the song, or it's nothing that's going to be immediate, but it's something that in the long term could help. An idea that comes to my mind is thinking about when I used to work on just like technical exercises. I used to work, and we've all done this, I'm sure, as guitar players, where you're working on four-finger exercises. There's tons of these things, right? There's different permutations. The problem is that you might find yourself working on a lick, phrase, whatever, or just playing something that has nothing to do with the bigger picture of what you're working on. So as you start to work on these minute things, you start to find that it's almost like a rabbit hole. You find a new lick here, you find a song that you start with over here, and it goes nowhere. And especially this idea of working on like a lick or something, and I come up, of course I have these things. I have ideas that I write out, but they are applied to tunes. When I write out my own phrases, they're applied to a specific tune I'm working on. That's why I write them out. If all you're doing is taking like a 2-5-1 or something and just playing it, and it has no real world application, you're not really putting it in the tune. I mean, why are you doing it? Are you doing it just because someone said that you should work on a 2-5-1? Or are you doing it because the tune is calling for that? It's something that you need to do. So really think about that when you're practicing. If there's a tune that you're working on, and you find that there's a spot in the tune that's really giving you some issue, or you just can't, you always run into this spot in the tune, and when you're improvising you just kind of freeze up, or you just make your way through it somehow, then maybe your focus needs to be on that. Then you have directness in the application of what you're doing, and it's not some nebulous thing over here where you work on your lick or your 2-5-1, and then you come over here and now you're working on the harmonic setting into a tune that has nothing to do with anything that you've done over here. So if you really want to think of the most beneficial way to focus your time when you practice and doing your practice, then you need to think about directness. These things have to be applicable to the situations. Otherwise, why are you doing it? Alright guys, before I go, leave a comment. Let me know down below. Is there something that you are currently working on or have worked on in your practice that has nothing to do with anything in the bigger picture? You're not even applying it to a tune. Be honest. I've done it many times and I still find myself doing it from time to time, so don't worry about, throwing it out there for everybody to see. We all have done it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget the links below, and I'll see you next time.